What's up guys, I'm Mitch. I'm the shop manager here at White Glove Auto. I got Darian here with me today. He's our vinyl guy. The guy does amazing work. We're going to show you some of his work today. We're working on this Mustang. We're going to make it go from this nice silver color to this better orange color, and we'll walk you through it.
Basically, I just want to make sure that there's no contaminants underneath the material. It's just a cleaner install. If you have no particles under there, no specks, you want it to look as clean, as smooth as possible.
So we're going to use knifeless cutter edges of the roof here. Since there is no good area to make a cut, we're going to use knifeless tape. This way we don't have to put a knife to the actual paint of the car. This tape will do everything for us. We're doing the roof piece first. Only because when we wrap the quarter panel, it's going to have an overlapping piece, and you want the seam to face the center of the car. That gives you less chance of noticing it when you're standing to the side of the car. Now peel off the first foot. You could peel off the whole roof all at once. We want to keep the amount of contamination that we're getting as low as possible. So we're going to flop this first edge back. Just going to expose the first foot or so. Get that tacked down on the corners. Now here we're going to do something called glassing, where you're just pulling everything tight. It's going to look like it's already squeegeed down before we even begin to squeegee. And again, doing this is going to create no fingering anywhere. And we're constantly pulling against each other to tighten it up as tight as we can get it. So let's go there. And all we got is this back corner now. All right, Darian's just tacking down the center of it there, kind of splitting it in half. I'll work on one half, he'll work on the other. He's getting that little body line down first, so there's no stretch over that body line. We don't get any sanding. It's actually a better cut than a knife because you can pre-plan where you're going to have to cut. And that gets one steady motion to pull it all the way through. Now that tape pretty much split the pieces in half, so now he's pulling off the outer piece, all that extra that he doesn't need anymore. So he's got the main piece off, now he just has to pull off a little green piece that's stuck underneath the edge of the vinyl. And then he'll go over it with his finger and lay that edge down, just to seal it down so it does not come up. I'm going to start trimming this back piece. I have a little bit of a gap on this car. It's a little on the easy end, where there's maybe 1/8 of an inch of a gap that I can stick my knife into. Pretty much leaning my blade parallel to the top of this trim. This way the actual edge of my blade that's making the cut is not pushing too hard. I use my squeegee to lay the rest of this down behind the edge. And now I'm going to come in here and make that same cut I did on the back. I'm going to lean my knife right up against the trim. Because it is a chrome trim, it's not some little rubber seal that's going to get damaged by the knife. Make that cut. Tucked away. We'll just go over with the heat gun. We'll give it some extra heat. What this is going to do, it's going to allow the vinyl to lose its current memory. Because vinyl does come in a flat sheet. Anytime you bend it or mold it to a specific shape, it's going to want to naturally, because it has the previous memory of it being on a flat sheet, it's going to want to pretty much pick back up and try to form that flat shape again. Other panels like quarter panels and bumpers is where you're going to need more heat, just because the vinyl has been stretched more out of its natural shape of on a flat plane when it's rolled up on the roll. I've been here for about 1.5 years. The biggest difference that sets us apart is our quality. We work on cars. Some shops may get their work done, they'll pull it outside, customer will pick it up. Pretty standard. For us, we will do our work, guys will pull the cars outside, and I do a quality check on every job we do. That just keeps our standard high. We have multiple eyes looking at the same work. So if one person misses something, another person can catch it. That's our main thing. And structure, we do everything. We have a specific a procedure for everything we do. As far as checklists go, the steps that we take to prep cars, it all plays a part in that, and I think that is the biggest thing. All right, we're gonna come over here and work on this front fender. This piece is definitely a harder piece on this car just because it has the curves of the Fender flare or discolor. A lot of times if you're putting too much stretch on a color, especially a metallic color like this orange, it'll start to almost lose that glossiness to it and turn more pale.
All right, so basically the adhesive on the material can be a little aggressive sometimes, especially across the body lines. So that's where something called sanding will occur. It's basically just breaking up of the adhesive side across the body line. A way to combat that is you can put a really light wax. Something like this works perfect. You basically just brush it along the body panel, the edges and stuff where it's going to be really important. Also important to go back over it with alcohol on the edges because you really want to make sure it adheres fully to the edges. So that's what we're going to focus on right now is we just want to wet the panel real lightly, brush it over.
Darian's essentially going to be putting that wax on any hard body line on that fender, which includes that main one up there and the two below that one. So we're focusing on this one, the other one, and that top one there. That's where the vinyl tends to shift over those body lines, and like Darian said, it's going to put sanding in there, and it's going to essentially look like some contamination is built up on those body lines where realistically it's just the glue.
The goal is just for a nice glide. You don't want it to be sticking. You want it to be sliding, almost like it's got like a little coating or something to it, but nothing crazy. Because the last thing I want is to try to be helping myself and I'm actually hurting myself by making the edges not stick. Okay, my name is Darian. I've been working here at White Glove for a little over a year and a few months. It's been a pretty amazing experience. I've learned a lot just in that year. So I'm pretty grateful for that. I've been wrapping for going on 4 years now. I was always a car guy growing up. I just kind of got the crazy idea to buy a roll of material and just go at it on the car. I obviously didn't know what I was doing, so it was pretty frustrating, but it was definitely a learning experience. That actually got my foot in the door at my first wrap job. I just showed him like what I was able to do and what I did without experience, and he was like, well, I'll give you a shot.
I'm just gonna grab it right here. Give myself enough. Are you good? Do you have plenty?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm good.
Just lay it. Okay, pull that tight right on that body line. You sure you still have enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like 2 inches past.
Okay. Cool off for a minute. See if we can get some of this down there. Look at the vinyl. What we do a lot is we read the vinyl, and you can tell that these lines going straight across here is just showing us that we have a lot of tension in this area. So he's going to have to slowly trim it back and lay it down so the very edge itself does not have tension, so it does not want to lift up on us. And again, we have the rest of that bottom part of the flare now all squeegee down. Now it's just about tucking it correctly, making sure you're not cutting off too much vinyl. We'll want to cover up all that silver paint. We will heat it up and let the film shrink back before the cut is made.
Nice and hot.
Again, working the top corner of the fender now, right below the windshield. You don't want to make a cut there too early. If you do, then you might get little tight fingers that you can't do anything about because the film will already be cut.
Above all, we just want to make sure that the customer is happy with what they get, and if they aren't, we literally do anything to make sure that we can fix that. Because if you don't care, then why are people going to come here in the first place? First things first, we're going to do the strip in the bottom. Normally, whenever you lay multiple pieces, you want to make sure the seam is facing down and away from the sight line. So you usually start at the lowest point. So like you'll start down here. Once this is here, you'll do this piece and the seam faces down, and then the top piece where the seam is out of visual. Whenever we do full wraps like this, we like to take things completely off the car. It just creates like a better finish and everything, but for custom jobs like this, this is like a one-of-one car, and if you take it apart, it's not going back the same way again. So we make do with what we can. You know, we don't want to mess anything up, but normally we do like to take things completely apart.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Myron, owner of White Glove Auto. You've been watching Mitch, my shop manager, and my wrap installer, Darian, install this 3M 1080 orange color on this beautiful 1967 Mustang. It was actually originally a silver color underneath. We also added dual gloss black stripes. Once you'll get a little bit closer here so I can show you this. We're still finishing up some details here, but as you can see on the windshield cowl, we still have to put the stripes on that. We still have to put the wiper blades back on. We still have to give the car a good wipe down. So we still have some final touches there. But what I really want to point out is, you know, this video is only 10-15 minutes long, but what most people don't realize is that the wrap process on this actually took closer to 2 weeks. There's a lot of time, a lot of labor, a lot of effort that went into this wrap. These guys did a phenomenal job, and really where all the detail work is in the edges and the corners, making sure there's no stretch marks, no color faded spots in the vinyl from being stretched too much. And like I said, these guys did a phenomenal job. So what I really want to do is show off some of their work. They do fantastic. I really appreciate their work, and so I want to show it off. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy the wrap, and thanks for watching.